Home. We are almost home in Lorient. After a journey of thousands of kilometers, fraught with many dangers, a journey that has not only exhausted us physically, but also mentally. The mood on board is a very weird one. Usually the men would be laughing, joking, boasting about the things that they would do on shore. Not this time though. Everyone seems tired, numb, exhausted. I feel that the storm that has been chasing us through the Bay of Biscay is a good reflection of that mood. As you have just seen, we are back inside a truly terrible storm, but we'll be back in Lorient in just a few hours. Yeah, high waves, very high waves. So we are going to be back in Lorient in about 4 hours, I think, which is quite nice. I might try to speed up the boat. I'll have to be careful though that I really have enough fuel to sail at a higher speed, because our fuel reserves are basically done for. We are almost running on fumes. The weather is terrible. But we have received a radio message. That's what I wanted to show you. We have received this radio message from BDU to all North Atlantic U-boats. U-43, 46, 66, 73, 93, 94 and 557 to patrol GR AJ68 in support of Bismarck. And the other U-boats to patrol the Bay of Biscay to cover Bismarck's move to Saint-Nazaire. Oh boy. Bismarck is trying to get back to France. And U-boats are, well, they are trying to get U-boats into a position to protect its retreat. Another radio message addressing a few commanders directly. Ensure safety of Bismarck. Cover Bismarck on their route to Saint-Nazaire. Bismarck seems to be in a bit of a bothersome situation, and it's trying to return from the Denmark Straits back to France, back to Saint-Nazaire. Will they make it? Will they make it back to port here? Most of you know the answer to that. Let's continue on this course and see if we get any more updates on that situation. What a terrible, terrible weather we have to brave. But we have almost arrived. Over there I can see the light of the lighthouse on the Ile de Groix, which is over here, on this corner. We have made landfall. Now, this is usually the point where we try to meet up with the minesweeper. Wait, I see a light there. Jesus Christ. The waves are really hammering us. I see a light over there in the distance. Might be another lighthouse. Yeah, that's not a ship. So I think at this point, with the visibility being so low, there's a good chance that we won't be able to meet up with the minesweeper. However, trying to get into Lorient without the minesweeper's guidance is a terrible idea. Of course, I know precisely where I am at all times, so this is just for immersion's sake. Let's say that we didn't have a GPS marker on the map, then we would not precisely know where we are right now. And I would have to either wait here, hoping that I'll meet the minesweeper, or I would have to try to get into Lorient by myself, risking to run into some of the defensive mines that are scattered in the approaches to the harbor. One of those pesky minefields. or one of those anti-submarine nets. And we just received a radio message. Let's see what that's about. Oh, just another U-boat reporting its position. Okay. Jesus, these waves. Slow down the boat. Slow us right down. And let's see if we can at least...
Derzeitige Tiefe 1,0.
Jesus Christ, blub blub blub. See if we can at least get into some calmer waters on the protected side of the island. Let's steer this way over there.
Neuer Kurs 102. Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Ein
To speed up a
Drittel
little
Fahrt
bit.
voraus.
How will I find the minesweeper? And you know, realistically such a weather like this makes it even more dangerous. Because in a storm like this, mines even... Oh my god, look how we are rolling. Jeez. In weather such as this, even the mines having been placed by your own side, moored on the seafloor, can be cut loose, can be dislodged by the waves, and can suddenly float around. So in this weather I think we are much more likely, realistically, to encounter floating mines than usually. And those mines that we encounter might even be German ones. So having a minesweeper escort us would be really, really nice right now. These waters are very shallow.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Tiefe unter Kiel ist 1,0.
So I can't even set the boat down on the bottom and just wait a little bit, hoping that this will blow over.
Derzeitige Tiefe 1,0.
The swell from the waves is so strong that even down there the water is being disturbed. I don't think I can dive safely in these shallow waters. That's a big no-no. Okay, I'll try to brave the storm here, hoping that when I get behind the Ile de Groix, which is over there, that the waters will be a bit calmer. Last waypoint reached. Yes, please continue.
Ein Drittel Fahrt voraus.
Engines are running, good. From here on out, we are going in by feel, basically, hoping to find the minesweeper. So, I'll make a little cut here, and we'll resume once I have an update for you, but this is sketchy as all hell. Look at that, and just like that it appeared out of the fog.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Let's follow it.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Speed up. Come on.
Große Fahrt voraus.
And it's gone again. If we can't get around fast enough.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Neuer Kurs 286.
You have just seen how terrible the visibility is today, but as you can see as well, now that we are protected by the island, we are now in, well, protected waters, the sea has become a lot calmer, which is very nice. But now I have to find that minesweeper again and then stay behind it all the way until we reach the harbor. Let's hope that we can find it again. It appeared so suddenly and then, just like that, it's gone again. How much fuel do I have left?
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
200 kilometers at this speed. We are on our final drops of fuel, basically. Still turning the boat. Okay. Completing our turn. Where is it? I have no clue where they went, and apparently they did not see us, otherwise they surely would have stopped. But here we go, chasing after it, hoping that we can find it in this soup, so that we can follow it into the harbor. I'll update you once I'm safely behind the minesweeper and we are sailing into the harbor. There goes our escort. It just turned around, it detached itself and is going back out to sea. We are continuing into the harbor and, well, as you probably can't see, just like me, where's the harbor? Sure, I could go by the map and just plot my way into the harbor and into my berth, but, you know, trying to get into the harbor like this, when all that you see is everything that's about 150 meters around you, that's a lot more fun. As long as I keep the green buoys on my right side and the red ones on my left side, I should be fine, right? So let's turn over there, head towards that lighthouse that we can see. And let's see there. That's a warning signal, the yellow flashing thing back there. We shouldn't go over there. I think that is used to mark a wreck that is here in the harbor. At its edge. However, still terrible. But at least here, inside the harbor, more or less, we are safe from the waves. And if I just keep heading towards that lighthouse, and keep the green signals on my right side and the red ones on my left side, we should be fine. I hope. I want to talk to you about a few things. A few changes that are going to come for the next patrol. First of all, as I have already announced, I will adjust the values for the aircraft. The values that are evidently completely broken. More specifically, I will adjust the value for the elite air bases from, what was it, 3? I'll adjust it down to 0.9. And if I don't forget to do that, I'll put it right on screen now, where you can find that file, so that you can make that change yourself. That's number one. That's something that I really need to do, because otherwise, this early in the war, we are only in 1941 after all, things are just going to go completely out of hand. Speaking of aircraft, there is something else. In the past I have talked a few times about switching to another submarine. Either a Type 7C or a Type 9C. The choice is a very difficult one, and your opinions have been very divided on that as well, and I value those opinions. Excuse me, I value those opinions, I've read those comments, and a lot of advantages and disadvantages of both submarine types have been said. And I still can't make up my mind, because it's a very, very difficult decision to make. Let's see. If we stay with the Type 7. No, let's do it the other way around. Let's say we switch over to the Type 9. We have a greater range, so we are less likely to run into fuel problems like we have been on this patrol. We have a higher surface speed, which will make it a bit easier to intercept targets, to overtake a convoy after an attack. We have many more torpedoes on board. We have 2 rear torpedo tubes. More crew on board. And yeah, as I said, a lot more fuel, a lot more endurance at sea. Those certainly advantages. Add to that the bigger deck gun. This Type 7 carries an 8.8 centimeter gun, not to be confused with the 8.8 centimeter flag gun. This gun here is a different one, only the diameter of the shell is the same, and that's about it. Now what, I'm getting a bit lost out here, still steering towards the lighthouses. Let's turn that way. Let's turn that way over there. So yeah, the Type 9 gets a bigger deck gun, a 10.5 centimeter gun, 105 millimeters. That's already a very nice naval caliber gun to use. It also should be able to carry heavier anti-aircraft weaponry once we upgrade to it. And that's about it when we're talking about its advantages. When we talk about the disadvantages of the Type 9 though, they are significant. They are in fact very significant. The boat is much larger. It is much larger than the Type 7. And that makes its visibility worse. That's number one. Number two, due to its increased size, it is also slower to dive. And the aircraft in this game are a true menace. Oh, look at that. We see the lighthouse. I want to get on its right side to get into the harbor. So I have to turn here. The Type 9 has a much slower dive time. And you know, when I think back, when I think about the patrol that we have just survived, and I think about our experience on Africa's coast, how suddenly these aircraft appeared. When I think that we had a few very close shaves with those aircrafts, a few situations where we just made it beneath the surface. If I had been in a boat with a slower dive time, I might be dead right now. Many of you said, if you go for a Type 9, you will be sent out to areas that are far away from British aircraft. But that's not necessarily true as we have just seen. The coast of Africa, the Freetown area, would be a prime area for a Type 9 because of its endurance. I could be sent there. And what do I do then? That's really one of the major disadvantages of the Type 9, the dive time. And if you have high waves, bad weather, you can't even use the heavier anti-aircraft armament that you might have on board. And what worth is then there to what the hell happened here? So either these guys are going for a swim and a little boat cruise, or the storm blew through here and did some damage. I think the second option is more likely.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy. Neuer Kurs 6-8.
Let's steer to our left. Keep the docks in sight. Yeah, because we are steering towards a beach right now. That's not a great idea. Let's try to keep the docks inside and follow them. Where was I? Yes. So, dive type on the Type 9. Huge issue. And then, when I think about the experience that we had in our second patrol grid on this patrol, where I have been cruising around for weeks without encountering anything, that's... I gotta admit, it was extremely boring. And when I now think that a Type 9 might get me away from the hotspot areas, but that also means getting me into areas where nothing at all happens, that's difficult. That's a difficult thing to contemplate. But what if I go for the Type 7? The Type 7C will have more upgrade options than the Type 7B that I'm in now. I will be sent out into the Atlantic to fight the Battle of the Atlantic, fight against the convoys and the ever more frequent escorts. But I am in a boat that is more maneuverable than the Type 9, can dive faster than the Type 9. It's not a fresh experience as the Type 9 would be, and it doesn't have its range and its endurance, or its armament. I have way fewer torpedoes, I have a smaller gun, smaller anti-aircraft guns probably, but at the same time, Jesus Christ, what's going on there? Let's steer towards it. I'm starting to think that I should just find a place to tie down the boat and be happy that I made it this far before I run into something here. Maybe I should do that. But we are not... There's more people swimming in the... What the hell happened here? Huh. Anyway, what I want to say, in a very weird way, is that at the moment I'm inclined to keep sailing on a Type 7 submarine, although a Type 7C, it's also, I think, a little bit cheaper in renown than the Type 9, which is very nice. And probably the upgrades that we can buy for it will also be cheaper than the Type 9. And I fear that if I go for the Type 9 submarine, I will be stuck in that thing all the way until the end of the war. And I very much doubt that we can be so fortunate as to not be hit by an aircraft bomb during that time. There is a ship that went down. This storm has really messed up the harbor here. Must have been a pretty terrible storm. I mean, we have the experience that we were out at sea there. The waves were insane. And looks like the wind here pushed a poor little French boat onto the beach and wrecked its hull before it slid beneath the waves. And something up there is on fire. Well, so much for that. Now, my guys, they are still alert, but we should now be getting closer to our berth here.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy.
Let's turn left.
Neuer Kurs 5-6.
That looks like a destroyer. Yes, that's actually a destroyer. Probably also smashed onto the beach by the waves.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy. Neuer Kurs 2-4.
And then sank by its bow. What a storm. What a storm indeed. Crazy. Turn us more left. I think we need to go somewhere over there.
Neuer Kurs 358.
That looks like... maybe those are the U-boat pens? Or more left than that.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloi.
Let's sail...
Neuer Kurs 314.
well, at least this thing didn't sink. Minesweeper.
Schiff gesichtet. Lage 5-7. Geringe Entfernung.
5-7, yeah, they spotted this one. More docks, more docks, more docks. My plan to stay with the Type 7 has a little issue. The flotilla that I'm in now doesn't have any Type 7Cs. So if I want to go for a Type 7C, I actually need to change flotillas. So we'll have to ask for a transfer as another U-boat. I think we're in the right place. Looks like we're in the right place. We're arriving where the U-boats are tied down. Let's bring the... wait, is that... I think that's where we need to go, over there. Yeah, I think that's where we... yeah, there is our welcoming committee.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloi.
Slow the boat down. Let's get the men on deck.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloi.
I get that question a lot in the comments. You get the man on deck by pressing Shift D or press F1. Go to other controls. It's down here somewhere. Shift D, where is it? There. Shift D or Control D. Raise, lower the crew. I get that question a lot. Okay, I need to turn a bit.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloi. Ruder 2 Grad Steuerbord.
We will raise both periscopes. Okay, something is not working. There we go. There we go. And the view immediately turned blurry when I started to raise the periscope, I think. Okay, it's a little bug. Doesn't matter. I need to slow down.
Kleine Fahrt zurück.
Oh, that's not elegant.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloi. Ruder 0 Grad.
Let's raise up the pennants if we can. Should be going up in a moment. There we go. Didn't achieve too much this patrol. 3 ships sunk. Slow us down. Still slowing down. Probably not slowing down fast enough. Let's
Große Fahrt zurück.
give it a little boost.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloi. Kleine Fahrt zurück.
Okay. Good. Good. Stop the engines.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloi.
Welcome home, boys. Welcome home. This has been an insanely long patrol. Really an insanely long patrol. It's time to end it. Let's end it together and see what kind of medals we can give to our crew. We are docking at Lorient. And here we have the summary for our patrol here. Here it says patrol number 14, but it was actually our 13th patrol. The very first patrol was before the war started, that was just a practice run. So you always have to subtract the number. Patrol number 13 started on the 29th of March 1941. Ended on the 24th of May 1941. It's insane how long we've been at sea. That has been our longest patrol to date. It has also been our furthest patrol to date, so we have really traveled far, far, far. Right, we sank 17,419 tons of merchant tonnage. We received 706 renown. Oh, will that be enough? Let's see, let's view the captain's log. What did we actually sink? We sank a large merchant of 10,617 tons. We sank a medium merchant of 4,347 tons, both on the same day. And then 7 days later, we sank a C1 M-type cargo of 2,455 tons. And that's all that we achieved during this patrol. Let's have a look at the current U-boat aces. Where do we stand? We are number 1 with 286,716 tons sunk. We're in front of Kretschmer and Prien, who will not be adding more tonnage to their score because they are, well, Prien is dead, Kretschmer he has been captured. So they are both out. Schepke also dead. Liebe, not sure about Liebe. He still might be... I think he still might be active. But despite having a very poor patrol, we remain on number 1. And the only reason for that really is that the top aces, the other top aces, they have been captured or dead for a few months now. Let's have a look at our crew. We have some awards to award. So there's one promotion that we can give to someone. Who is deserving of a promotion? You know, that's a good question. Maybe one of my petty officers. Is there anybody? You fought a brave gun duel with that freighter, Gottswittenberg. You deserve a promotion. Yes, I'm sure. He is now a Stabsbootsmann. Now let's go for the medals. No medals to award really, apart from a U-boat war badge. So we have... No, you have only completed your first patrol. The U-boat war badge is awarded after the second patrol. So I'm not giving you that war badge right now. Everybody else has it and has completed at least 2 patrols. This guy is just completely new, so he's not receiving it right now. He'll receive it after the next patrol. I'm not giving out the U-boat front class because that award, it's too early in the war for that award, so I'm not using it. Qualifications. What do I need? I have enough people with the radio man qualification. I don't need that. Another watchman might be a good idea. Or maybe another gunner. Get myself a good score of gunners here, but I already have a petty officer who is a gunner, so maybe not. Flag gunners I have enough. Helmsman. I could make one of these petty officers a helmsman. That wouldn't be a terrible idea. Machinists I have enough for now. Although, you know what? Having another machinist, just in case that one of these 2 guys goes missing again, that would be a really good idea. Alternatively, I could maybe use another medic or another repairman. But I think I'm going for the machinist, because not having two machinists on board is supremely annoying. So let's get a third who can... Yeah. Let's get a third one who can do that task. Let's actually not give it to this fresh guy, let's give it to you. Emo Wisman. You are now a qualified machinist. That concludes this. And now, before we end today's episode, I have 7,801 renown. For a Type 9C I would need 7,500. For a Type 7C I would need less. That's a Type 7B, you can't compare that. I would have to switch flotillas. I would have to go and switch flotillas to do that. I would have to transfer to the first flotilla, I think. Back to the first flotilla. I'm not gonna do this right now. I have to check if this is really the case. And then, if I don't change my mind, then we are actually doing that. If I don't change my mind, then we are going to change to the first flotilla. But that is something that you will find out next time. For now, I want to thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope that you have enjoyed it. And let me know your thoughts on the situation. I know that your opinions have been very divided on this, and many have been in favor of going with a Type 7, going out into the Atlantic, fighting convoys. Many others have been in favor of going with a Type 9. Still unsure. Anyway, let me know what you think. I once again want to thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again next time. Until then, have some really great days and goodbye.